We all want it. We all need it. Truth is, sometimes we just don't get it. I'm talking about sleep. Have you ever felt like you just don't get enough? Well, a new study shows a lack of sleep can actually be linked to disease. And joining us today to tell us more and to share natural remedies to get those Z's is sleep medicine specialist Dr. Carol Ash. Dr. Ash, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you for having me, Jimmy.
So let me ask you this question. Why is it some of us just cannot get to sleep?
Well, you know, Jimmy, like everyone else, I just was loving that extra hour of sleep this weekend. But, you know, that time change, it does disrupt the natural rhythms of sleep. And, you know, unfortunately, Americans are desperate for sleep. Physicians wrote 60 million prescriptions for sleeping pills last year. And, you know, it just goes to show you that most of us really don't even have the basics in terms of healthy sleep habits and just natural ways that could help us fall asleep.
Wow. So tell us about this new study that's linking a lack of sleep to certain diseases.
Well, we've long known that when you're not getting good quality or duration of sleep, that it can lead to many of the common disorders we hope to prevent and treat: cardiovascular disease, diabetes, causes increased weight, fragile emotions. What I'll tell patients is simply go antisocial. When you are using these gadgets at night to stay connected to your friends with the social media, what happens is those gadgets emit a blue light. That blue light will interrupt the release of melatonin. Melatonin is a hormone that's critical for sleep onset. So Jimmy, if you just simply remove the gadgets out of the bedroom at night, it'll go a long way to helping you have better sleep. The second tip is go red to bed. You know, tart cherries are a natural source of melatonin, and research has shown that if you drink a glass of tart cherry juice before bedtime, it'll actually improve the quality and the duration of your sleep. So I'll tell my patients, drink a glass of tart cherry juice one night a week and see how it improves your sleep. Most of them will find it will. And the last tip is reset the clock. You want to make sure that you get up the same time every single day, not just during the week, on weekends also. What that will do is it will help your brain to set rhythms that allow you to transition into sleep easily at night and will ease getting up in the morning. It'll be less of a struggle. So go antisocial, go red before bed, and reset the clock. You'll find that it makes a huge difference in the quality of your health and well-being.
Okay, I got to admit, I have a tendency to sleep in on the weekends. Is it possible that I can actually get too much sleep?
Yeah, well, Jimmy, you can get, you know, the range is 7 to 9, so you can get too much sleep and you can get too little sleep. What typically happens with too much sleep, there are 70 million Americans struggling with sleep disorders. The NIH estimates that 50% of them have yet to be diagnosed. So there's unrecognized sleep disorders, and when you have a sleep disorder, it'll impair your sleep and you'll need more of it because each hour will be less efficient. But just basic sleep habits, most of us don't know the first thing about making sure that we have good quality sleep. And when you're not adhering to these natural, healthy sleep habits, you'll find that your sleep will be poor quality and will be more restless, and you may need more hours of sleep. So it is right back again to sticking to those simple tips. And, you know, if you're finding that, like the rest of us, too many demands and expectations so that you can't get the sleep you need during the weekend, some simple things you can do, Jimmy, to offset that are take a nap, 20 to 40 minutes, no more than 40 minutes, because more than 40 minutes you'll find you'll go into deeper stages, you'll wake up feeling confused and groggy, and get exposure to bright sunlight. Bright sunlight can be very energizing. So some simple things you can use.
Well, let me ask you, do I understand that the room temperature and maybe even the room color can make a big difference too?
You're absolutely right. You know, we don't really put a lot of thought sometimes into the sleep environment, and you know, we put more emphasis on trying to make a, you know, decorator statement with vibrant colors and sometimes these themed bedrooms. But the reality is you really want to maintain that bedroom just for sleep and create an environment that's cool. You sleep in a much cooler environment than most people realize, the range being 65 to 75 degrees. The right temperature is unique to you. But keep that room cool, keep it quiet, and keep it dark. And that cool, quiet, dark room with calm colors. But get back to nature. You want the blues and the greens, you know, those earth tones, things that we would naturally associate with nature and calm. So those are really critical to helping you maintain sleep, along with those other tips,
Yeah.
and you'll be well on the way to a good night's rest.
Okay, so I know for a fact I got the temperature and the color right. Now, I've got to tell you, this last weekend, I look forward to all year long when we fall back an extra hour. How much does that impact our sleep?
It really does have more of an impact on your health than you could ever imagine. That 1 hour, it is very stressful on the body. You release stress hormones, inflammatory substances. It disrupts the normal rhythms of sleep and really can have a huge impact on your health. So if you, again, just stick to some of these tips, not only do tart cherries have a benefit in improving duration and quality, if your sleep is really that disrupted, such as it would be with this time change, then another benefit to tart cherries are antioxidants that can help offset the stress response from poor sleep.
Between springing forward and falling back, which do you think is more stressful on our bodies?
Well, believe it or not, the spring forward people believe is more stressful because of the loss of hour of sleep. But when you actually look at the research, both of them, we fool ourselves thinking, oh my gosh, I've gained that 1 hour. 1 hour really won't make a big difference if for a lifetime you really don't have healthy sleep habits. And think of it like this, Jimmy. If you were focused on diet, we'd all recognize it. You can adjust your diet. You can eat 400 calories or 4,000 calories, and we all get that that wouldn't be a healthy thing to do. But there's flexibility in your diet because you're going to have different energy demands, and you're going to need to adjust your caloric intake. Well, sleep is no different. With those changes in the light-dark cycles, you need to have flexibility, and that flexibility allows us to really do some things that we shouldn't be doing. So, you just want to get back to the healthy habits and stick on track, and it'll make a big difference.
Dr. Carol Ashe, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Some great tips for you there. Now, if you'd like to read more about some of these sleeping tips from Dr. Ashe, you can go to delmarvalife.com and click on the Show tab. Now, perhaps your mattress is the reason you're tossing and turning at night. Is it time for a new one? Well, when it comes to mattresses, there are so many styles from which to choose. We're going to find out how to select a mattress that fits you just right. Okay, so you don't want to go to bed on an empty stomach. We got you covered. We're in the kitchen a little bit later on with a perfect meal to start your day, or maybe you just want breakfast for dinner. Stick around to see what's cooking. Delmarva Life. We'll be right back.